Valoria goes left. Valoria flips it up and in!
So Orlan Mamar, but Mamar gets the step and the finish.
Hail Mary. June Manzo will fire.
Oh my goodness!
June Manzo all the way from
Serrano, Bebuelo, Serrano with the basket. Fuentes, no hesitation, gets the goal!
Good afternoon mga kaliga, ladies and gentlemen, to the Robert B. Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium in Rosales, Pangasinan for Day 2 of the 7th season of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino. Happy Palanyan, Coach Mike Perez bringing to you the action while Mika Abisames is at courtside. Our games today, our first game, the Imus Brotherhood will be going up against the Mindoro Tamaraws at 6 o'clock p.m. The Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards will be reliving their matchup with the Pasay Voyagers in the second game. And for our final matchup, the Pangasinan Heatwaves host the Bataan Risers. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to Miguel Pere for the starting lineups.
Barrett's triple header here at the Robert Estrella Senior Memorial Gym in Rosales, Pangasinan. It's Imus versus Mindoro on the 2025 Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. Time to meet the starting lineups first for the Imus Brotherhood. Starting at guard number 12, JJ Caspe. Also at guard number 21, JV De La Cruz. Center number 14, Ray Acuno. Forward number 24, Mark Doligon. And the other forward number 17, Kint Ariar. The Imus Brotherhood is led by Jade Padrigao with Mike Orquillas and Abe Macarayan. Team consultant is RJ Rizada. Assistant team manager TJ Marquez. Team owner is Ruby Navarro. Now, the starting five for Mindoro Tamaraws. Starting at guard number 23, June Manzo. Forward number 4, Danny Marilao. Center number 51, Chadi Rangel. Also at forward number 17, Joseph Sedorifa. And at two guard number 3, Ino Comboy. The head coach for Mindoro Tamaraws is Rodney Santos. Assistant coaches Ernest Alao, EJ File, John Ferrios, Ray Alao, and Migo Santos. Team managers are Zandra Norte and Ray Alao. Team owner is Honorable Mayor Jennifer.
Our starting five of this game brought to you by 1xBet. For Imus, it's going to be JJ Caspe, the former Mindoro Tamarao, starting along with JV De La Cruz, Mark Acuno, Mark Doligon, and Kit Ariar, also a former Mindoro Tamarao himself on the other side. Coach Rodney Santos will be beginning the game with Ino Comboy, June Manzo, Chadi Rangel, Joseph Sedorifa, and Danny Marilao. A lot of former Tamaraos facing their former team today, Coach Mike. This is going to be very exciting para sa kanila. Of course, the Tamaraos, they've beefed up their roster with a lot of veterans, some ex-PBA players as well. And of course, a new head coach in the slasher, Rodney Santos.
And definitely that new head coach team for Team Mindoro would also be a change in the way that they play. From the previous year, they've been playing a lot of triangle offense predicated on Ken Bono. Now, they've got a lot of talent that could produce the much-needed points for the Mindoro Tamaraws.
This Imus Brotherhood team, you know, they finished 14th in the Southern Division last year. Now, it's a revamped roster again, some veterans added, and also a new coaching staff. Of course, it's Jade Padrigao handling the team this afternoon in lieu of their head coach, Britre Roma, also a known coach here in the MPBL. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out para sa kanila. Wala pa nakakapuntos in the first 30 seconds of this game.
Tsaka dami rin mga familiar na mga names na nandito ngayon sa Imus. Used to play for Mindoro. You know,
Exactly.
JJ Caspi, one of them there.
Doligon with the basketball, trying to get the step on Marilao. Acuno, free throw line jumper from the left of the elbow. That's no good. Ball tapped out of bounds. It will go the way of the blue shirts.
Well, you could tell very early on, yung mga teams that I guess have changed a lot their roster. chemistry is going to be a vital piece in their adjustments. No, new players coming in, adjusting to new systems, and the team that adjusts pretty quickly would most probably have the advantage over the others.
That's going to be the challenge the first few weeks, maybe
Right.
even months of this long season that awaits us. Season 7 ng Liga ng Bawat Pilipino. Rangel was blocked. Forward pass to Doligon. Good transition defense by the Tamaraw. Sedorifa back in the MPBL. Doligon, one-hander is no good. Recycle here for the Brotherhood. Ariar in and out on the jumper. That was well challenged by the defense of the Tamaraws.
Kita mo talaga nangangapa pa itong mga Imus Brotherhood. Talagang inaalam pa kung saan manggagaling yung score at paano ang depensa. Samantalang Wendell Combo, he can hit it from the outside, Javi.
He loves to hit the big shot, especially if you give him space. That was challenged, but he was given a little bit of room to be able to launch that shot. That's the first points on the board for the season for the new look Mindoro Tamaraws.
And I guess that comes in the territory para dito kay Wendell Combo, Ino Combo, having the playoff experience when he played previously for Abra, and a lot of looks like this in that team, and right now he's doing it for Tamaraws.
What do you think is the main difference, Coach, of course, aside from the new system? The way they play, what is it going to look like for the Tamaraws this season with these new players on board?
Well, I feel that this is going to be a faster version of the Mindoro Tamaraws. They were dead last when it comes to fast break last year. Really, more concentrated on half-court sets because of the triangle offense. Now, you've got guys who can actually get the rebounds, like Chadi Rangel, you got Danny Marilao, who can actually run the floor alongside the wingmen and the guards to fill the spots and run transition.
And of course, more mobile big men because
Agree.
last year they had to rely heavily on Ken Bono for a lot of the minutes in the front court. But now marami na siyang katulong sa
That's
pwesto na
right.
yun.
That's right.
And he is the only notable holdover from last year's team.
And I'm pretty excited for the new guys also of the Tamaraws and how they'd be adjusting to this new team.
Manzo with 10 on the shot clock, gets away from the defense and lays it in off the glass, offhand finish para kay June Manzo.
And June Manzo is really just one of those guys that knows how to finish in traffic. Try and create situations, find open spots, and see where it takes him.
Ariar gets doubled on the baseline. Acuno, power dribble, met by help defense of Danny Marilao. But there's a foul called by our baseline referee. Take a look at that last play. Shot clock winding down. June Manzo evading 3 defenders on that drive to the basket.
Well, not even the help defense could really stop that drive on the left side of the floor for June Manzo. And that floater is always going to be deadly for June.
That's always been one of his specialties from his time in Cebu to his stint in the UAAP with the Fighting Maroons.
Kaya pag ganun siya kalapit, hindi mo alam kung magpo-floater na o lay-up. You're second-guessing what he's gonna do.
You just caught a glimpse of JP Belenson of the Imus Brotherhood. He'll be coming off the bench this afternoon. Manzo, another getaway and a leaner off the glass to get the Tamaraws up 7-0 here at the start of this game.
And so far, June Manzo getting the number of any primary defense.
After a successful opening night in Ilagan, Isabela, we are still up north. This time, for the first time here in Rosales, Pangasinan for 3 exciting ball games. But for this first game, I was able to talk to the ever-supportive, ever-patient team owner of the Mindoro Tamaraws, who is Madam Ina Alegre Cruz. And she's the type of person who always keeps her team in competition, especially sa South Division. Ayan na nga, kumuha siya ng players tulad nila RJ Ramirez, nila Comboy, nila June Manzo, at kinuha rin niya sila Coach Rodney Santos, Coach EJ File, at Coach John Juan Ferriol. So makikita natin na magbabago talaga ang style nila. They're gonna go more pro. Pero sabi naman ni Coach Rodney, mag-a-adjust pa rin naman daw siya sa modern type of basketball. Wala na daw masyadong post-up. Pero generally, he will really try to change the culture of this team. Biro ko nga sa kanila, when push comes to shove, pwede ba kayong mag-suit up na rin? Ang umuo lang ay si Coach EJ File. Have you, Coach Mike?
Wow, Mika, lovely report to open your stit here in the first game. But nagulat pa ako si Coach EJ File yung umuo. But you know, Coach EJ File has been still playing games with the legends all across the country, even going abroad sometimes.
Hindi naman nawawala yan sa isang player. Medyo mabagal lang ng konti, may konting changes, but deep inside, that heart of a basketball player is always going to be there. And you know, you expect guys like EJ File and the other coaching staff, including Coach Rodney, to be in there as well.
He will be a big help, especially for the big men. I expect mainly for a guy like Chadi Rangel, who is still trying to find his footing in professional basketball. A former Gilas draftee in the PBA, not really got a lot of chances when he finally entered the PBA, but now here in the MPBL, maybe with the Mindoro Tamaraos, this could be his chance to finally make a name for himself.
Yeah, and tell you what, this set of coaches that he has with Coach Rodney and the bigs, you know, he's gonna learn a lot from them and how to position and when to go on spots on the floor.
We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. 3-7 is the count. Ariar failing to trim back the deficit. That's going to be Mindoro basketball. Almost 4 minutes gone by here in the first quarter. There you see JJ Caspe going up against his former squad. Remember, Caspe was an all-star last year playing for the Mindoro Tamaraos.
Oh, tsaka he's not gonna shy away from an open spot. I mean, you give him on a catch and shoot, he's gonna take it because he knows his range. He understands where he can make shots and where not to.
Comboy working the two-man game with Rangel. Marilao tried to dump it inside to Chadi. Out to Ramirez. 3 on
Good
the shot clock.
movement.
Comboy, top of the circle. 3. That is bucket para kay Ino Comboy.
Well, that's one thing that we did see last year from the Tamaraos, but on a different scheme. Right now, it's really just small ball, moving the ball around, trying to find the open guy.
Ariar out to Caspe. They swing it to Doligan, who scored the first 3 points for the Brotherhood. De La Cruz, hand in the face. Gets it over RJ Ramirez. That's a 3.
JV De La Cruz from last year came halfway through for the Tamaraos and did just that. And now he's hoping to do the same thing para dito sa Imus Brotherhood.
Marilao almost traveled. Comboy way beyond the three-point line there. Didn't hit anything. That was an air ball para kay Wendelino Comboy. Coach Roti Santos na medyo napailing na lang. Let's take a look at this three-point shot brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Comboy getting that swing pass from RJ Ramirez and knocking it down. And of course, JV De La Cruz answering with a 3 of his own on the other side. Shot from the outside, that's a miss. 1 and done possession for Mindoro there. De La Cruz will slow things down for the guys in white. 10-6. Doligon passes it to the right side. De La Cruz has it against Ramirez. Ariar offers the screen. Ariar to the corner. Caspe still failing to get his first basket for Imus this season. Marilao fakes the handoff. Comboy now directing traffic para sa Mindoro. Skips a pass. Ramirez, catch, fire, no good. Both of these teams shooting blanks. The past few possessions, Coach.
Yeah, the threes have not fallen so far for both these teams. Well, from last year, itong Tamaraos, napakababa ng three-point makes nila. But now, you know, they're roughly getting about 33%, which is relatively better from last season. But you hope that the numbers, if you're Coach Rodney, to be better from that spot because you have really good guards that can score from there.
Under 4 minutes to go in the opening frame, Manzo finally gets stopped by the interior defense of Imus. And here comes JJ Caspe.
Oh, that spacing not so good on that side.
De La Cruz stepped on that sideline as he tried to make a move towards the baseline. There you see Coach Jade Padrigao, who had stints coaching in the PBA D-League with Zartsberger. Also had experience coaching in Thailand. As Imus awaits the presence of Coach Bitre Roma. For now, it's going to be Coach Jade Padrigao handling this squad.
Ito, ramdam mo na yung depth ng roster nitong Tamaraws. You know? Bam Gamalinda and Ken Bono coming off the bench.
Along with Axel Inigo.
Axel Inigo too, right?
Gamalinda last year played for the Davao Occidental Tigers. Will now get a chance to get his first 2 points for Mindoro at the free throw line.
Well, Bam Gamalinda right now is going to have to play alongside Ken Bono. From last year, he played with Art De La Cruz, where he got a lot of passes, especially in transition. But now, with Ken Bono inside, that might be the other guy that can fight him and feed inside.
This depth that you mentioned, Coach, quite scary, actually, if you think about it. Not really the most imposing as you take a look at Mayor Ina Alegre Cruz, the team owner, the Mindoro Tamaraws, ever so supportive of her squad. This depth that you mentioned, Coach, not really a lot of really star player caliber names, but veterans here in the MPBL and other professional leagues. So this experience may very well bode para sa kanila.
Oo. And ang gusto ko dito yung mobility ng mga guys that joined the Tamaraws this season. I mean, Wendell Comboy, Axel, what more can you ask from them? And should leadership be there, kailangan, you get it from them.
Ramirez into the front court. Gets stopped in the baseline by Doligon. Bono from the outside, off to the left. Doligon with a rebound.
Oh, nobody stopped Doligon right there.
Rebound by Enrique Caunan. Still no go para sa Brotherhood. Comboy, a little head and shoulder fake. Sees Ramirez, two former Tamaraws connecting there, and RJ Ramirez will go to the line for two.
Ang laki ng difference ng nakikita mo ngayon dito sa Mindoro Tamaraws. Yung bilis ng takbo, yung intentional when it comes to execution, the way that they run and fill those spots. Ramirez was out there blindsiding that left side of the floor, waiting for that pass and trying to finish inside the paint.
Jedong, JP Belencion, as well as Reggie Boy Basibas, fresh off the bench here para sa kubunan ni Coach Jade Padrigao.
Now, these two guys, Reggie Boy as well as Belencion, should provide the scoring punch that Imus needs right now. Those two are pretty much really good perimeter shooters. JP can actually shoot it from the outside as well.
Ramirez at the free throw line, as you see Coach John Ferriols, one of the assistant coaches of Coach Rodney Santos, another PBA legend coaching here in the MPBL.
Yeah, diyan marami mag-pick up si Chadi alongside Ken Bono. I mean, yung experience niya na paglalaro ng big position, he'll definitely got a lot.
At Coach lalo na kasi kaliwete rin si John Ferriols.
Oh, that's right. Parang yung partner ni kung si Javi pala niya. Kaliwete rin. Push comes to shove, Javi. At kailangan ng isang Javi pala niya.
Sa panel, yes. Oo.
Sa panel.
Second on the shot clock at di napansin ni Belencion. That's going to be a turnover laban sa Imus.
So right now, the way that things are being executed on the side of Imus, nakikita mo pa rin yung hesitation. People trying to go to spots na alam nilang may pagkakataong umiscore pero hindi nakakakuha ng bola.
Well, to my knowledge, this team hadn't really been practicing yet for a long time.
Yeah.
Compared to Mindoro, who has been practicing as a team since February.
So very consistent yung mga practices na. If you see in social media, the guys that really just starts coming in, really comes in and joins the practice. And Reggie Boy is in there to fill in that void in terms of scoring.
He's definitely going to be a good scoring punch off the bench. Lob pass to Ramirez. Didn't force the issue. Bono back to RJ. Ramirez has the speed advantage against Caunan. Couldn't hit that jumper which he settled for. De La Cruz looking ahead. Basibas spins left. Gives it to De La Cruz on the baseline. Fades away. No. Basibas, the offensive rebound. The swipe by Axel Inigo garners him his first personal foul.
Ganda rin talaga ng timing ni Reggie Boy Basibas pagdating sa offensive rebounding. He just stays in there and waits for where that ball is going to bounce. And the number of times that he's played that position has allowed him to get a better understanding of where the ball would normally fall.
Carbangeles comes off the bench for Jade Padrigao. There you see JV De La Cruz. He comes out with 3 points so far in this game. Sibas missing on the first free throw. Reggie Boy, coach, he brings a lot of versatility to the wing position. He too can play the power forward spot when needed. A guy who can score from the outside and put the ball on the floor. He loves the open court.
At saka may perimeter jumper eh. But ito si Wendell Comboy, no need for that introduction. You know he's gonna knock it down.
9 points now in the game for Ino Comboy to lead all scorers in this one. Under a minute to go in the first. Jed Ong goes to his strong side, puts it in, plus the foul.
Yeah, they're gonna need that. Strong finish after beating that defense of Axel and really just blowing by and going to the rack.
Check out this play of the game brought to you by 1xBet. Jed Ong getting the step on Axel Inigo and using his body to defend that shot, getting it in, plus the foul.
And it's really tough if you're the defending team, if you're gonna allow your opponent to go straight line drive on that left side of the floor, which is his strong hand. It's gonna be tough to defend against it.
Ramirez drops it off. Bono able to kiss it off the glass. 10 seconds left in the first. Sorry, no. 38 seconds pa pala ang natitira. Mali nabasa ko sa oras. 17 to 12. Jedong has the basketball. Kaunan provides the roadblock. Basibas near the elbow. Overshoots it. Ramirez gives it up to Axel Inigo. A 4-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
And Imus might have gotten a 2-for-1 right there and allowing them a little bit more time to finish.
Inigo being pressured hard here by Jed Ong. Crossover, leaves Ong, kicks it out. Gamalinda sets for 3. Off the back iron, Ramirez gets another one. No-look pass to Bono. 7 seconds left. Can the Brotherhood get the final shot of the first? Basibas, with still time on the clock, misses the 3. Inigo clears it, and that's gonna do it for the first 10 minutes of action.
And lahat ng gigil pagdating sa preparation nitong Mindoro really showed in that last possession. A lot of flashy plays right.
Last year, where Pampanga won the crown, getting back-to-back championships. There you see the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards gearing up for their game later on at 6 o'clock p.m. against their foe in last year's Northern Division quarterfinals, the Pasay Voyagers.
At hindi po kayo namamalikmata, opo, si Tyrone Chan po, yung kasama ng Nueva Ecija, because right now, this season, he's a Rice Vanguard.
Cyrus Tavi and the Pasay Voyagers also already here at the venue. Looking on as Mindoro and Imus got it out here in the first game of our Monday triple header in day 2 of season 7 of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. And Bono, the most notable, if not the only notable holdover from last year's Tamarao squad.
Well, one thing that Imus has been doing so far since that time when Ong got down that layup shot on an end one, they've been attacking the primary defense. of the on-ball defender, thinking that they could beat them, especially as they go the strong side of the floor.
Bangladesh 6, both free throws, 14-19. Ramirez, Comboy, Gamalinda, Inigo, Bono. The 5 on the floor to begin the second quarter for Coach Rodney Santos. Our first quarter field goal story, 5 out of 21 para sa Brotherhood at 7 out of 18 para sa Tamaraos.
And RJ Ramirez, having played for the Batangas Tanduay Masters, really very familiar with system-based plays, understood the mismatch that he had there once that switch happened. He just went to the left side of the floor and drove against the defense of Reggie Boy Basibas.
Take a look at it here. Little hesitation move and going to his weak side, the left. Still able to finish RJ Ramirez. This is definitely a good chance for him to be able to make a name for himself as well. Didn't really get a lot of consistent playing time last year for Coach Cholo Villanueva.
That's right. But you know, deep inside, you know, he's gonna be a vital piece in terms of rotations para dito kay Coach Rodney. And you have to have that level of experience in understanding schemes, and that's what he brings to this Mindoro Tamaraos team.
I'm very sure of that, Coach, and I think RJ Ramirez is relishing the chance to be able to get this opportunity.
And yung opportunity na makapag-lead ka, no?
Yes.
Dito sa be that influencer, I guess, to the schemes. Oh, Ken Bono.
The ageless Ken Bono knocking it down from the outside.
Isa siya sa mga big man na pag nag-slip sa taas, hindi mo pwedeng iwanan. Isa na dyan si Tyrone Chan. But Ken Bono's got a pretty good range from the outside.
This lead is now at 10, 24-14. Belenson flares to the right corner. Belenson knocks it down to answer.
Picture perfect shot right there by JP Valencion. Got that on a hop step, then do on a 1-2, and then just released it from the corner.
Jay Yutok, bagong pasok dito para kay Coach Rodney Santos. Ken Bono, top of the circle. Late si Enrique Kaunan sa pag-challenge. Good thing Bono misses that three-point shot, but the Tamaraos get another crack at it. Ramirez could not knock down the shot. Basibas leaves it for JP. Belenson, does it settle? Belenson all the way to the cup.
Good read by JP Belenson right there. Seeing that open baseline side and just attacking it.
That's now 5 points in the game for the former Letran Knight.
There's another big man that can slip. Oh,
Ramirez goes back door, sees Yutok in the corner. He can knock that down, but misses it that time. Chance to make this a one-possession ball game. Basibas fouled there by Bono.
Ken Bono really caught by surprise. Nabigla nilang ni-release yun. Now, how about this move right there in the corner? Went on a hop, and that shot went in.
Jagong finding JP Belenson, and of course, this one was the drive in transition. Basibas leaving it no look behind to JP Belenson. Got this lead down to just 5.
Yeah, tsaka happy si JP, streak shooter yan, no? So he's already got a string of 5 points in a row. So we'll see how this goes for him.
Ethan Galang is in the game for the first time para sa Mindoro Tamaraos. Basibas splits his charities.
One stat line though that I expected to be a little bit more glaring with this version of the Mindoro Tamaraos is fast break. They only have 1 point so far in terms of fast break, and you'd like to think they could be better than that, and the hope is that by the second half things would be a little bit more fluid in open floor para dito sa Tamaraos.
Well, definitely, despite playing some tune-up games and being in practice a lot, iba pa rin yung first official game mo.
I agree. Iba pa rin yun. Lalo na first game mo for the season.
Mark Acuno dumps it inside to Soriano, who pushed off Axel Inigo. That's an offensive foul. Laban sa kanya, that's Errol Soriano.
Well, that's just Axel's veteran smarts. Nakita niya mas malaki yung bantay sa kanya at the post area. You're not gonna be staying at the back. You gotta front him and make it difficult for him to catch it. And eventually, it led up to that foul called on his opponent.
Yuto comes out of the screen of Galang. Gamalinda looks inside. Yutok able to get 2 points. Easy basket there para sa Mindoro.
Little shuffle cut, ending up with a keep action with Gamalinda. Again, able big man passers in the Tamaraos right now.
Belenson gives it up to Caspe. Caspe has struggled in this game. Yutok ahead of the pack. Caspe challenges right there. He went there and really got up to prevent Yutok from getting that shot.
Well, you like that Yutok actually attacked that one real strong. See this beautiful play right here.
That's our assist of the game, brought to you by 1xBet.
Very interesting, a best of 5 on both.
So expect a longer season for these squads, and of course, an even greater chance to enter the playoffs, especially for the teams who will struggle. Coach Rodi Santos, the slasher, a legend in the PBA, now coaching here in the MPBL with the Mindoro Tamaraos, alongside fellow legends in John Ferriols and EJ File. Mark Doligon scored the first 3 points of this game para sa Brotherhood. Gets 2 more inside on the post-up.
Ironically, now it's Imus that's running the triangle offense. So we've seen it a number of times in so far as the minutes that they played, when they run that ball over to Doligon at the low block, allow that space to be cleared on the wing in the corner before he attacks.
Gamalinda running the same play here with Jay Yutok, but this time Yutok doesn't get the cut inside. Sedorifa back in the game. Galang hands it off to June. 4 on the shot clock. Sedorifa, 1 dribble, pulls up, knocks it in. That rattles home para kay Joseph Sedorifa.
Ramdam mo yung experience na ng mga players ng Tamaraos na wala nang rattle part, alam kung anong gagawin even if that clock winds down.
A former stalwart of the Makati Super Crunch, and then spent a lot of his time in the 3x3 circuit in the PBA. Ito si Joseph Sedorifa, who has the basketball right now against Mark Doligon.
And that time around, good tap from behind on that post-up play by Mark Doligon.
Manzo once again nakawala sa depensa, and that's 2 more points para kay June Manzo. He has 6.
And tell you what, no help defense, no recovery defense has ever caught up with June Manso dribble penetrating inside the paint.
Every time nakakawala siya sa depensa, there is nobody inside to even challenge the shot.
Yeah. The help tries to go pero naiiwan talaga, even the recovery defender.
Errol Soriano has that door shut down on him by the interior defense of Mindoro. Belenson kisses the front of the iron. That shot of his. Tamaraos with a chance to get this back to a double-digit lead. Manzo against former Mindoro All-Star JJ Caspe. Putting on the moves is June, but misses on the shot.
Now you gotta execute if you're Imus here.
Past the halfway point of the second quarter. De La Cruz fakes out his defender. Out to Doligon. Mark. Short on the 3. Matakbo dito ang Mindoro. Yutok gets it at the corner. Galang, no hesitation. Rattles out. Caspe skies up for it.
And you like that there is really no hesitation on them, hoisting it from three, because that's the order from Coach Ronnie. Remember, he said he does not believe in post-ups anymore, and so the game has changed, and they're going to be adjusting, and so we see that on their shot selections.
Caspe forcing the issue on that one. Excellent defense by Mindoro. And Yutok leaning into the defense of Mark Doligon.
And so far, we've seen a lot of confidence in Yutok, attacking and anticipating the contact and trying to finish through it.
You can tell that they really are expecting all of this physicality.
And that just credits to the coaching staff of Coach Rodney, empowering these guys to, ito yung sistema natin, ito yung gusto natin gawin, ito yung prinsipyo natin. If you're in there, go and make a decision. And if all else doesn't work, then we're gonna get them again on the other end.
We have our first challenge of the afternoon. Coach Jade Batigao electing to use his coach's challenge on that last foul call on Mark Doligon. June Manzo, 9 points in this game to have the scoring honors tied with Ino Comboy. And he really has helped this squad establish this 11-point lead so far here against the Imus Brotherhood.
Good kick.
Doligon drives, spins left. Doligon able to finish. This guy is no stranger to MPBL basketball, talking about Mark Doligon, and he really has seen a lot of action para sa Imus throughout the years. On the other side, Ethan Galang absorbing the contact and finishing through it, getting the 2 points. Sedorifa tried to jump a pass to Rangel. He was not looking, and then look who gets it. Galang Tough angle to
Yeah.
work with and kissing it off the glass.
Yeah, tsaka handa to go and secure that offensive rock and try to quickly put it back in. And Galang so far been pretty impressed. I mean, the way that he's playing comfortably on the floor shows a lot of confidence. He understands the system that Coach Rodney is trying to get for the Mindoro Tamaraws, and he's been adjusting pretty well.
Former UE Red Warrior now taking his talents to the professional ranks dito sa liga ng bawat Pilipino. And that seems to be a turnover para sa Imus, but one of our referees trying to talk to our baseline officials saying it will stay. So there they reconciled the call and correct it. It will stay with the Brotherhood with 12 seconds left on their 24.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about the offensive improvements on the side of the Tamaraws, but how about the defensive side of the floor? A lot of deflections. I mean, this team was nowhere near the top when it comes to defense from last season, but right now, they're doing pretty good on that end.
Doligon so far with 7 points to lead the Brotherhood. Crashes to the floor, fails to get it comfortably and safely to Reggie Boy Basibas at mapuputokan sila ng shot clock violation.
And that's consistent to my point na ibang klase ang depensa nilalaro nitong Mindoro so far in this game to start this season. Ilang beses nang mababa yung shot clock bago nakakatira itong Imus.
Ethan Galang this time trying his luck from the outside. And the Brotherhood take it into their front court. Let's see what they do with this possession. Two-man game. Former Mindoro Tamaraws connecting on that one. That was De La Cruz going to Kit Arriar for the deuce.
If there's two stats that's glaringly an advantage para dito sa Tamaraws, is field goal makes and assists. But right now, a couple of quick assists para dito sa Imus might be trying to get them on into something here.
Galang gets the step on his defender, goes up for the floater and gets the 2 points.
So gusto mo talaga yung kumpiyansa, no? I mean, long close out, I can put the ball on the floor. I'm gonna inch it a little bit closer before I get you late and I make that attempt.
Galang gets the rebound. Off and running are the Tamaraws. This is a 4-on-5 situation. De La Cruz late to go back down on defense. Sean Andrews, one of the new recruits of Mindoro, driving inside but failing to finish on that scoop. Meanwhile, let's take a look at this play of the game brought to you by 1xBet. Again, De La Cruz finding Kit Arriar. De La Cruz and Arriar, two former Mindoro Tamaraws from last year's squad. Manzo, a former Davao Occidental Tiger, and Abra Weaver missing. Doligon, again, trying to get to the cup. This time he's found and he will go to the line for 2 free throws.
And Doligon really just trying to do almost everything right now for Imus. And he's trying to speed up the game from a big standpoint, thinking that he can outrun the other bigs or the Tamaraws. But the help side defense is still there for Mindoro. Kaya lang medyo na late that time.
Ayan naman talagang laro ni Doligon, practically a do-it-all forward for whatever squad that he plays in.
Tsaka komportable sa bangga, no? Minsan doon kumukuha ng leverage. How many times have we seen him today try to finish through contact and make those shots?
He's 1 out of 2 from the charity stripe. 38-27, Mindoro pa rin may lamang. Galang hands it off. Sedorifa given space. You can't give him that kind of room. I think that's a miss.
And not just the room. Without a challenge, nobody had his hand up on the side of Imus. Thankfully, hindi pumasok yun.
De La Cruz, wala, galing sa labas. Rebound para kay Basibas. And he gets the putback inside.
Iba rin talaga yung bit-bit na sipag ni Basibas pagdating sa offensive side of the rebounds.
Manzo snaking his way past the defense. Kicks it out to Galang. That's 2 straight misses from the outside for the former Red Warrior. Doligon, top of the circle, rejects the pick. Doligon.
Oh, man.
Gets 2 defenders. The dipsy-do for Mark Doligon.
And every time, if defensively, you're gonna
7 of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Our numbers after the first 20 minutes, Coach Mike.
Well, you see right there, the attempts are pretty close. Just a +5 advantage sa Mindoro. Pero yung efficiency on making shots, really more on the side of Mindoro. It's coming from all the assists that they've actually issued. Good assists for easier shots. But in 3-point makes, at 6 out of 21, a really good, better 28% than they normally average. And both teams really got a lot of help from the bench. So it really boils down to making shots and getting more efficiencies if you want to win this game.
Well, nakikita natin, the lack of spacing plus also the lack of familiarity between these guys. The Imus Brotherhood playing into them being down in this game. But despite that, it's actually nice that they're down by just 9 points.
Yeah. At saka clearly nakikita mo from the start of the game yung familiarity in terms of player movement and ball movement nandun sa side ng Mindoro. The Imus really just caught up mid of the second quarter when Caspe and De La Cruz and the other guys started making assists and making shots.
In that middle of the second quarter, they were able to trim the gap to just 5 points, where JP Belenson was able to cut it down with 5 straight points after Mindoro erected a 10-point advantage.
And right there, Chadi, really just caught with a moving pick. And nobody's ever defended successfully one-on-one out in the perimeter against Jun Manso. So hindi na kailangan yung ganun. By himself, Jun can actually beat the primary defender on him.
The former Tamaraos, De La Cruz and Caspe starting once again in the backcourt for Coach Jade Padrigao. He's joined by Ariar, attempts the jumper and gets the 2 points near the free throw line.
Well, again, nakikita mo yung very similar triangle offense movement. Tex Winter would call that a gaggle, where you have the 3 guys moving that side of the floor to different spots until you find the open man who takes the shot.
Doligon and Raymark Acuno round out the starters here in the second half. Para sa Imus, Ariar. Down low to Raymark Acuno. Facing up against Rangel. Elects for the jumper. That's no good. Sedoripa. Lost it a bit. Manzo picks it up. Comboy. Running start. Out to Sedoripa. Back to Ino. Comboy. 3-pointer on the way. That is all nylon for Ino Comboy. That's 3-pointer number 4 para sa kanya. 12 puntos sa laro for the former FEU Tamarao.
When the Comboy, when he makes that pass, that's when the game starts. I mean, he just relocates to open spots on the floor that he's very comfortable on making shots.
Ariar couldn't fake out Gamalinda. He stays disciplined on defense. Caspe, he's 1 out of 9 in this game. And left Chadi Rangel, who commits the foul. That's his second, all here in the third quarter. Check out this 3-point shot of the game brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Gives it up, gets it back, and knocks it down. Ino Comboy, 12 points in the game.
Knowing offensive principles and trusting your teammate. And you know where he's gonna go, and you know he's your primary shooter from the outside. You gotta hand that ball over to Ino.
Sedorifa already with 3 personal fouls here.
And really quick fouls being given up here by Mindoro.
And Coach Roddy Santos with no sign of putting him out just yet. De La Cruz gets the handoff. No, the tap. Rangel tried to get it back after that ball went up. Pero natulog siya dun ni Raymark Acuno, and that's going to be a foul against him.
And yung labanan na yun sa ilalim between Raymark and Chadi, mararamdaman mo talaga yung medyo kiskisa ng konti because dun sila komportable sa ilalim, yung bungguan na ganun eh.
Coach Jade Padrigao will not take any chances of Acuno picking up his third. Ibabalik niya sa laro si Enrique Caunan, the former Sarangani Marlin.
It's just too vital in the rotation of the bigs para dito sa Imus.
Gamalinda, top of the circle, 3-pointer, wala. Doligon gets rebound number 5 in this game. Doligon has nothing in sight but the basket.
I'm gonna go out on the limb here. Damon Doligon, the way that he plays and when he gets that defensive board to actually push that ball, he's almost Draymond Green-like. You know, he's able to find open guys on the floor, and if not, he's gonna be the one to finish. And you love power forwards who are like that.
Exactly, almost the same jersey number as well.
Tsaka, sa malayo yung build eh, may similarities din eh.
That's right. De La Cruz bounce past Caspe. Met by the defense of Comboy and Manzo. There's a blocking foul against Ino Comboy, and that's going to be the 4th team foul of the Tamaraos. Wala pang 3 minuto ang nakakalipas dito sa pangatlong yugto.
I'll tell you what, dalawang beses na yan na sinubukan ni Caspe, drive towards the baseline, always beating the defender and ending up with a foul for the Tamaraos.
Doligon, 13 points in the game, failed to up that number. Long rebound goes to June Manzo. Manzo kicks it out. Sedorifa sees Gamalinda flashing in the middle. Doligon had the hands up. No foul was called, but Gamalinda still able to kiss it off the bank.
And so far, Sedorifa has been, a guy that's finding open teammates, making really good decisions, not hurrying spots, but finding open guys.
Kaunan taking the hand off, spins, dangerous pass to Doligon. Ariar, step back jumper. He had that challenge. That one was short. Comboy soars for the rebound. Manzo wants a screen. Rangel
Got that
with
switch.
a pick. Gamalinda now. Hands it off. Sedorifa back to June. Manzo sees the shot clock winding down as the mismatch against Ariar. Crossover between the legs. Manzo drives left. Blocked by Doligon.
And Diligon says, we've seen that a lot of times in the first half. I'm not going to allow that this time.
Doligon, cross jab. Picks up another foul, and that puts Mindoro over the limit with still 6 and 13 to go in the 3rd quarter.
I mean, you have to admire yung conditioning nito ni Doligon. Ano? I mean, getting rebounds and running the other way, trying to finish right through contact.
Axel Inigo will come back in off the bench para kay June Manzo. Doligon at the line for 2 more. This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Ooh, that rims out para kay Mark Doligon. Coach Jade Padrigao handling this team for the meantime in lieu of Coach Britre Roma, who is the named head coach of this squad. 13 points, 5 rebounds. He's 3 out of 5 from the free throw line. Make that 4 out of 6 now. His squad down by 9 still, 46 to 37.
Well, they're still giving themselves a chance right here. Staying close, hanging on, not allowing any more deficits. Got to get some stops here against this offensive scheme of the Tamaraos.
Skip past to Gamalinda. Comboy gets the handoff. Is stopped very well there on that baseline by 3 white shirts, forcing that turnover.
So much better defense there by Kent Ariar on that drive towards the baseline.
Then the Brotherhood trim this to 7, maybe even 6 with a 3-point shot. Their main man in this game, Doligon, gives it up. Kaunan, free for that jumper. Hairballing that one. Sedorifa almost lost it. Gamalinda, well experienced in the professional ranks. That's just too easy para kay Bam Gamalinda.
Oh, kita mo komportable, no? Parang scrimmage lang. This is my favorite spot on the floor. That elbow on the left side. You allow me that space, I'm gonna give you this shot.
From San Beda to the PBA, now here to the MPBL, Bam Gamalinda makes this 48 to 37. Ino Comboy last season with the Abra Weavers, almost 10 points per game on 35.6% field goal shooting, plus 2.3 rebounds and 2 assists per ball game. Here in his debut for the Mindoro Tamaraos this season, 12 points, 4 out of 6 from the outside, plus a couple of boards.
And I think what's important here is the playing time that's given him and the trust of his teammates. You know, understanding that you're our main man when it comes to knocking down threes. And if you're free, you're gonna attack the lane side or the middle. And he's just a really good decision maker in Ino Comboy. Sobrang experienced eh.
Meanwhile, when the resumption of play here, Axel Inigo picks up his third personal foul as he was trying to deny, I think it was JV De La Cruz of the basketball. And itong Mindoro, they have been in the penalty since around the 6-minute mark of this third quarter. That's why De La Cruz will go to the free throw line. He too hasn't been able to make much of an impact so far in this game para sa kanilang kupunan. 3 points pa lang, make that 4 after that made free throw.
Tsaka yung mga fouls na yun, very avoidable eh. You know, starting off with that moving screen by Chadi Rangel and those couple of baseline fouls on each of the Mindoro Tamaraws. You know, adjustments that they could make, especially in the fourth quarter, when that would be very crucial, especially as you head at the end.
Free throws have been a problem in this game for the Brotherhood. 7 out of 17. We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Gamalinda again against Kaunan.
Yeah.
Fall away jumper is a bucket once again para kay Bam Gamalinda.
You can't allow him to operate on that left side of the floor on a mid block and an elbow. Couple of dribbles, turn middle. That's money for Bam Gamalinda.
Doligon trying to get it down low to Kit Ariar, pero masikip ang naging spacing doon, and the defense for the Tamaraws really preventing that pass from getting to Ariar.
Halos parang taking him to school na nga yung dalawang jumper na yun ni Bam Gamalinda, eh, no?
Belenson and Basibas will try to provide firepower off the bench para dito sa Brotherhood. They're down by 12 here. Biggest lead of the game so far for the Tamaraws. Inigo gets the step on Caspe, kicks it out. Gomboy hand in the face, that's off to the right. Belenson could have tapped it to a teammate. Inigo had to adjust, that was blocked. De La Cruz secures possession. JV trying to body his way past the defense, and Jay Yutok will go all the way unbothered for the 2 points.
It's tough to make that dribble penetration in the middle. If you're a big man, Reggie Boy Basibas is occupying that same spot. Somebody's got to release and allow that side of the floor to be open for them to operate on.
14 points ngayon ng lamang na hinahabol ng Imus. Belenson way short on that 3-point shot.
Series of miscues here for Imus, empty possessions.
This has been the trend sa laro na to. Each time that Imus gets on a mini run, nasasagot agad ng Mindoro. And then this puts the Brotherhood into a drought, a long drought. And Caspe ends that with that layup, only his second field goal of the game. Yuto quickly into their front court, sidestep and draws the foul on Quintariar.
Kita mo yung gravity ni Ino Comboy. He was literally just standing in the corner waiting for that kick on that side of the floor. And JP Belenson could not help out on that drive by Yuto because he understands, may shooter ako sa corner.
RJ Ramirez will give Ino Comboy a breather. Jay Yutok from JRU program. Already played in the MPBL a couple of seasons ago para sa Manila. So this is a comeback year para sa kanya.
And karamihan din habi ng mga players who have benefited from this rotation and the changing of the rosters would like to have a really good season for them to build on as they try and continue to play for MPBL.
Every game is an opportunity for them to really show out and try to get people to notice them, maybe for better opportunities in the future, better contracts. In a long season like this, there is so much chances for them to be able to get that.
And that apart from playing the game that they're really most passionate about.
53-42, Axel Inigo handling the rock. Inigo is playing with 3 personal fouls. Rangel fakes out right, finishes left. That's his strong side.
Yeah, that's a tough one to defend. A stagger with a primary screener being Chadi Rangel and your pop-out guy being Bam Gamalinda. That's tough. Either way.
Mark Doligon still the only bright spot in this game para sa Imus Brotherhood. The only guy in double figures. He has 16 points in this one. Belenson to Basibas, baseline drive. Goes out to the corner. De La Cruz swishes that through.
One of the very few times that they've executed well offensively. Baseline drive on a baseline drift, ending up with that 3 by JB.
Only the third three-point shot of this whole game for the Brotherhood. Meanwhile, Mindoro, they have 7 already in the game. There's a foul on Imus.
Yeah. I was gonna say, having ganda ng pagkaka-timing ni Chadi doon. Try to get that post up. Basibas was late to try and recover.
Rangel will take a seat on the bench. Only has 2 points so far, but he does have 9 rebounds.
This one's gonna end up on another flex.
Inigo. Back irons the 3. Doligon with rebound number 6. De La Cruz gets a screen from Basibas. De La Cruz. No, that jumper won't fall. Jed Ong gets another possession para sa Imus. Belenson. Mismatch against Axel. Belenson leaves it for De La Cruz. Stiff pass.
So far, 5 quick ones from JB De La Cruz, hitting a 3 a while ago and staying active despite the pressure defense.
And this is the same situation they were in middle of the second quarter, Coach.
Correct. And again, JB was also involved in that. And so you just can't rely on Mark. You got to have JB as well contribute.
Belenson to Doligon. Ooh. Almost a clean block upstairs, pero naabutan ni Bam Gamalinda yung parte ng wrist ito ni Mark Doligon. It's an 11-2 run here, anchored by this guy, Mark Doligon, who really has been the focal point of the offense. I don't know if intentionally para dito sa Imus Brotherhood, but he definitely has been the main guy producing points para sa Brotherhood sa laro na to. 18 big points para kay Mark Doligon so far here sa ating laro.
And one thing that they've definitely learned in this situation is that Mark kept them in this game, but the other guys contributing allowed them to cut down this deficit. They're down only 4. Now you gotta have a really good stop to maintain this momentum for Imus.
Of course, aside from Doligon, JB De La Cruz has also been contributing some baskets here in the third quarter. JP Belenson's presence has also helped. He's open
Good
for
shot.
3. Belenzon knocks it down, and this is just a 1-point lead. A 14-2 run for the Brotherhood.
That's a good shot on 2 things. 1, he's not guarded. 2, that's JP Belenzon on his favorite side of the floor. And same thing though, you got Ken Bono on the low block. That's not gonna happen.
Simply no reaction on his face. Just a straight face.
Yeah.
Alam niya na kung anong gagawin niya. That's a move that he's done and a shot that he's made 1,000 times over.
And I thought he gave Coach Rodney a little bit of a look. See, post-up game still working.
De La Cruz will try to answer. No, Basibas had that ball swiped away downstairs, but it will stay with the Brotherhood. It's still 14 seconds on the shot clock for Imus. 42.8 seconds here in the third.
Well, if you're Imus, you're in a good spot. You just have to be very consistent. Good fake.
Basibas leaves it for Belenchon. He will not force it. He has time. Ong with the cut. And he's found by Axel Inigo. That's number 4 on Axel, by the way.
Isa sa pinaka threat pagdating sa cut yung 45 or yung opposite wing cut galing sa sa kabila, opposite side ng poste kasi nakatalikod yung depensa. You're not gonna see that guy cut in.
Look at the disparity in free throw attempts, coach.
Yeah.
Because really of the number of fouls that Mindoro has given up, especially here in this third quarter where they entered the penalty around the 6-minute mark of this period.
And it's not like that free throw attempt advantage has been just right now. It's been there since the first half. That was what, 10-4 at the end of the half. Pero you know, you just gotta keep defending without fouling if you're Mindoro.
Bono now against Doligon. Earlier it was Basibas. Bono this time drop steps to the baseline. Same result.
Head above shoulders in terms of length and height, and I guess you can count skills as well.
Ken Bono hasn't played more than 7 minutes in this game, and he already has 11 points. Doligon strong to the hoop, and another three-point play opportunity para kay Mark Doligon.
Players always gotta go to their strength. You went to Ken Bono on the post-up. Let me just go on that middle dribble penetration. That's my attack. Try and catch this Mark Doligon style.
Amazing finish by Mark Doligon, and he flexes his muscles. Why not, Mr. Doligon? 20 big points in this game. Could not capitalize, though, on the three-point play opportunity. His team's down by just 2 points. 8.5 seconds, and Jedong gives up the foul. That was their last foul to give here in the third.
And you know he got beat by Axel. And that little sprint from the backcourt. And that primary defender against the ball handler has been a problem para dito sa Imus.
Get the Tamaraos, get the final shot of the third. Yutok hands it off to Inigo. 6 seconds left. Axel gives it to Jay. Yutok baseline drive, no access. Yutok gets fouled on the jumper by Doligon.
And Yutok really is just continued to respond. Hey, regardless the situation, lamang or hindi, dikit, you know, he's always been there, staying composed and trying to do real well for Mindoro.
This is a guy that has flown under the radar even when he was playing for Manila. He was one of the guys na maasahan mo. That time, Manila didn't really have a lot of players that were present during games. And so, guys like Jay Yutok had to step up. As you see, Mayor Ina Cruz looking on her Tamaraos. She's really focused on this team getting to the playoffs this year with Coach Rodney Santos, the slasher, at the helm of this squad in this season.
And one thing that we've proven throughout, the champion team needs a really good support from the management.
1 second to go. Basibas trying to beat it. Could have went for the floater after that one dribble.
Yep.
Now that's going to do it for the first 3 quarters of play. A spirited comeback for the Imus Brotherhood in this third quarter as we take a look at the highlights of the game brought to you by SIP Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration. And guess who's elevated their game here in the third quarter, Coach? The Imus Brotherhood pouring on the points. 25-18 here in the third.
A big third quarter run. It's really just a good response by Mindoro, courtesy of Ken Bono. But Mark Doligon just really continues to take that lead alongside the other guys, especially with the help that he's getting from the bench.
20 points, 6 rebounds para kay Mark Doligon to lead all scorers in his squad in this game as they try to get back. They're only down by just 4 right now, entering the fourth quarter. Back here inside the Robert B. Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium in Rosales, Pangasinan. Let's take a look at our fan of the game, or rather fans of the game, brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Some happy fans here in our Monday triple hitter dito sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Again, we're inside the Robert B. Estrella Memorial Stadium in Rosales, Pangasinan. The host, the Heat Waves, will be going up against the Bataan Risers in our last game at 8 o'clock p.m. Up next after this game between Mindoro and Imus, it's Nueva Ecija versus Pasay. Our quarter scoring so far in this game, Coach, big third quarter for Imus.
Yeah, that was pretty big. That's the best quarter so far that they've scored. And they've done that through a lot of effort and a lot of good efficiencies. I mean, they're shooting the ball a lot better than their 32% earlier on. They're now at 39.
Ken Bono, 11 points in less than 10 minutes.
But
he continues to pour it on.
But let me just say, he's 3 out of 3 on his last 3 attempts, all from the post. Speaking of Ken Bono.
JJ Caspe has yet to make an impact in this game against his former squad. I'm sure he was one of the main guys that they focused on preparing on this game. Ito si JJ Caspe talking about the Mindoro Tamaraws in their game plan. Sedorifa was fouled. That's a push against Jedong.
Yeah.
And you can see also, Coach, you know, the difference in the camaraderie of this Mindoro Tamaraws squad from last year. Yung energy from the bench.
That's right.
Ibang klase. You could see them really cheering their teammates on and also reacting to calls whenever it's not in their favor, but it's really different from last year's team.
That is right. And you like to see that energy coming off your bench, especially in moments when, you know, it's pretty tough in a game just like this one. And the way that they responded has really been because of the help that they're getting and the energy from the bench.
Ken Bono fakes. Oh, gets the foul on Reggie Boy Basimas. Just a veteran move from Ken Bono. He's putting on a show here in the second half.
Oh yeah, definitely. Simulan muna doon sa latter part ng third quarter. And the guy's been saying, ako muna ha, mamaya na kayo mga guards. And he's just been really good. I mean, decision-making, spots on the floor, it's been pretty well executed by this guy, Ken Bono.
This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
And if you're Rodney Santos, aren't you just glad that he's there?
Oh, definitely so. And we're glad that Mika Abisamis is also with us at courtside. Go ahead, Mika.
While we are celebrating Ken Bono, may konting kwento lang muna ako dito tungkol sa Imus. Ang naging problema daw talaga dito at the start ay ang disiplina sa defense. Dahil medyo late sila sa recovery nila sa scramble, generally it was their the reads on defense that got them to that low point. Now, they are definitely doing better, in a better spot. Credit to Daligon. Pero ang talagang gusto makita ni Coach Jay Padrigao is the tandem of Caspe and De La Cruz to do better. Napansin daw kasi niya, may konting gigil ang dalawa, especially that they are playing against their former team. He wants them to join in the general goal of the team, which is to maintain being close. At alam mo, nakikita nga natin, pakunti-kunti ang chemistry nila dito sa game na to. Kaya natanong ko na rin, ano ba talaga ibig sabihin ng brotherhood? Ang ibig sabihin pala daw talaga nun ay sa Cavite, meron daw isang foundation na gustong tumulong sa mga batang gusto matuto mag-basketball. At yan daw ang partner ng Imus this season dito sa MPBL. Javi and Coach.
Thank you so much, Mika. We appreciate that information, and now it's very clear to us why this is the name of the squad here. And I'm sure the Imus Brotherhood, that foundation right now, is very proud of the way their team has come back in this game.
And you like coaches who understand where their team has previously been. As you see, Ken Bono, this one is gonna get a walk. And Mika alluded to it, that they haven't defended really well. The rotations had not been there. Their scramble defense is not very efficient. And true enough, when you look at the numbers from last season, they were dead last in terms of points allowed for opponents. They're allowing opponents to score 102, and they're not been efficient offensively, committing almost 16 turnovers per game.
Yeah, there were a lot of games that they were really blown out. And Caspe, just his third field goal, but definitely a big shot here para sa Imus. That's a wide open three-point shot knocked down for his 7th point of the game, and he brings the Brotherhood to within 1.
And this is so much better version. Ooh, little action right here.
Belenson and Manzo getting tied up there. Credit to our security team for really being quick on that. As soon as temper seemed to flare up, nakita mo na yung mga mukha. Yung security nandun na agad sa gitna.
Takbuhan na kagad eh.
Take a look at it again. And then Manzo trying to bring the ball up, and Belenchon was trying to swipe it away from him. Di na kasi inalaw ni Belenchon na matanggal yung kamay dun sa ilalim ng kanyang kamay.
Yeah, but that's pretty dangerous. I mean, if you keep holding on to that arm, that might be, you know, a major injury that could happen.
Yeah, maybe a pulled shoulder.
Right.
And I think that, if my memory serves me right, that June has a history of injury sa kanyang shoulders. I'm not just sure what side.
The last foul on JP Belenchon has been upgraded into a sportsmanlike foul.
So after a review by our game officials, headed by Chief Maynard Centino, that foul called initially on JP Belenchon on the swipe has been upgraded to an unsportsmanlike one. And so June Manzo will be taking 2 free throws plus ball possession will be awarded to the Mindoro Tamaras.
Madalas talaga yung bumabawi yun na nauuli. Kasi if you look at the replay kanina, mas naunang nag-hook si June Manzo But it was, I guess, you know, the vision of the referees which saw that foul otherwise for JP.
So far, June Manzo with 9 points, but he has yet to score here in the second half.
Right.
All those 9 points were in the first 2 quarters.
Well, not that he needed to, because Ino Comboy was knocking down 3-pointers one after the other because they're finding him, and Ken Bono's been pretty solid on the post. But this missed free throws, you know, is something that he needs to make.
Uncharacteristically missing both charities. It was a June Manzo, and of course to the loud applause by the Brotherhood bench there, saying ball don't lie. Of course, Imus will have to try and get a stop here to prevent Mindoro from extending this lead. Manzo to Comboy, that pass a little bit too low. Ken Bono has had the number of Imus' big men here in the second half, but Ariar almost got that steal. Oh, and a block there by Kit. The Brotherhood on the advantage. Belenchon, that's a tough finish. Doligon saves it to Casper.
Wow!
Sidestep beauty off the back. JJ Casper.
A series of really good effort on the side of Imus. You can't say it's efficient, but it's really good effort being shown.
And the Brotherhood now are in the lead for the first time in this game. 65-64. Can Mindoro answer? Sedorifa misses on the 3. Long board to Ethan Galang. Bono had that ball swipe. Casper ahead of the back. JJ Casper back-to-back baskets.
There gotta be a timeout right here. This is a so much better version of Imus than how they were from last year.
11 points now in the game for JJ Casper. He was 1 out of 9 in the first half. Really struggled against the defense of the Tamaras, but look at this sequence, coach. Incredible effort shown by Mark Doligon on the save. Gets it to Casper, and that sidestep beauty. Wow. Game, Coach Mikey has already equaled his average from last year, but that's not without struggling in the first 3 quarters.
Well, a good thing that he's been able to recover at crucial points, especially in this game where they're keeping it real close. Oh, another defensive stop right here. But, you know, they're really just making it tough for Mindoro to execute anything, especially as they cross the half court.
Remember, Caspe only had 2 points in the first 2 quarters. He was 1 out of 9 from the field. That's a different story here in the second half, particularly here in the fourth quarter, where he has been able to bring Imus into the driver's seat right now. But they're Galang getting the nifty pass from Joseph Sedoripa.
And having Ken Bono on the post, my question is, where is the help gonna come? And when is that coming? And the timing to that help should allow rotations on the other end. That time around, late rotation by Imus allowed that shot freely by Galang.
Caspe working the 2-man game with another former timeout in Kint Ariar, and Caspe getting that push shot to drop.
Imus still looking really good here.
69 to 66, this game has gotten so much more exciting and intense here in the penultimate frame. Comboy, pass almost stolen by Belenson. Sedorifa turns the corner, puts on the brakes. Caspe with another steal. JJ forward to Doligon, leans in, couldn't finish, was asking for a foul. No whistle blown. Manzo past Ong. Sedorifa gives it back to June. Manzo, he knew that ball was short. Bono was asking for it top of the key.
Yeah.
Manzo trying to get it back. Intense pressure here. Arial has to get it across. They will take their time here. 11 on the 24. Doligon, not really a consistent outside shooter, but he gets his own miss.
Well, they're trying to pull out the defense of Ken Bono, but you got to make your shots before he starts committing.
That's an air ball from Caspe. Doligon, sidestep. Not enough English on the shot.
Mark is tired. He looks tired.
Comboy finishes over the defense of JP Belenson. 14 points in the game para kay Ino Comboy. This is also a guy that had a lot of markers in the first half. He had 12. Ariar couldn't finish. Rushed shots on the past 3 possessions for the Brotherhood, Coach Mike.
Well, matter of fact, you could say the last 4 to 5 shots have been hurried. A couple from Mark Doligon and the succeeding ones. You can't finish this off with just one quick blow. You have to be very consistent and methodical. It all boils down to a possession game.
We're past the halfway point now of this fourth quarter. The Brotherhood and the Tamaraos engaging in a heated exchange here of misses, actually, rushed possessions in the past few sequences. Gamalinda commits a turnover. Kakapasok lamang nito ni Bam Gamalinda.
Oh, pero you have to credit the defense on the post by Kint Ariar. You know, Ken Bono, Bam Gamalinda, he's been able to make things difficult, at least after those last 2 post-up shots made by Ken Bono. Everything else has been a lot Kint Ariar.
De La Cruz to the cutting Belenson. Give and go doesn't work. That's last touch on the Tamaraos.
And andun na naman si Kint Ariar trying to get active, trying to secure the offensive board.
De La Cruz triggers in from the baseline. Ariar against Gamalinda. Kint couldn't fake out Bam. Out to former Letran Knight, JP Belenson. A veteran here in the MPBL. Belenson changing hands, no good on the finish. Comboy leaves it for Galang. Out to Manzo. That pass a little bit too behind para kay June.
I feel Galang was expecting June Manso to show up a little bit on a little higher angle because he was coming from the low block. And the right thing, but miscommunication lang between dalawa. I'm sure June Manso knows that, but he was just late going to that passing lane.
Ethan Galang will check out. Jay Yuto could check in. Imus Brotherhood. Coach Jay Padrigao will burn a timeout with 4 minutes and change remaining in this game. rather, and then Chedorifa knocking down that three. Good JJ
wow.
Caspe, the hoop and the arm.
And again, it goes back to the timing of when he starts helping out Imus. Sure, you said it earlier, was struggling a little bit in the first half, but man, this is a different guy right here come the second half. He's just seen open lanes, attacking with impunity, and waiting for the contact to finish.
Nawala na yung gigil, coach, na sinasabi kanina ni Mika that Coach Jade Padrigao alluded to. And now he is more intentional and making better decisions when he has that basketball, and also playing excellent defense, might I say.
That's right. And Mindoro right now is the one that's reeling from all these efficiencies that the Imus has been showing. In the first game from last season, Imus actually lost by, what, 30-plus points, or 40 points rather, against the Gensan Warriors, or the South Cotabato Warriors. But right now, they're doing so much better in this debut this season.
Manzo, three-pointer, no good. Doligon skies for that rebound. And Mark Doligon has cooled down here in the second half, or particularly here in the fourth quarter, but that's only because JJ Caspe is now taking over. And you could also see some signs of fatigue from Doligon, who has really been carrying the load for most of the game. At Kit Ariar, that's a bonus already kung makascore siya.
Yep. And dalawang bagay ang pinag-uusapan natin kanina kung bakit lumamang ng ganun ang Mindoro in the first half, as we see a whistle blown here underneath. Those two stat lines are actually being field goal efficiencies and assists. And right now, Imus has actually caught up in that department. They're shooting 40% from the field and making 20 assists, which was earlier way below that number in the first half.
And now in the lead by 5 points, 76-71, as we approach the 2-minute mark of this one. Can they hold on to this advantage? That is the question.
Yeah. It's composure time. I mean, the team that's more composed and finishes strong would actually end up winning a game.
And I gotta tell you, Coach, I did not expect this game to go down like this, but I definitely am very happy to be proven wrong. Caspe trapped there near the half line. Basibas could have been called for an offensive foul, but Basibas gets the 2 points nonetheless.
Saka nakikita mo yung kumpiyansa sa opensa ng Imus right now. Basibas was right there. He could have taken that shot. He saw that close out. Let me put that ball on the floor and attack.
We're now in the twilight zone. The final 2 minutes of this one between Imus and Mindoro. Gamalinda hangs, no, gets his own miss. Put back is good para kay Bam Gamalinda.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going. And Bam Gamalinda has scored crucial baskets in the second half.
9 points in the game, 78-73. Doligon, absolutely no need to rush here against Chedorifa. Doligon looks at the clock, it reads 10. Doligon gets past Rangel, Chedorifa back to recover. Ariar couldn't hit the jumper. Doligon gets the long rebound. Dangerous pass, but Caspe gets to it.
And you can feel that Mark is actually tired. He didn't even look at the rim to try and attack. He wanted that ball in someone else's hands.
Caspe forces it up, and the foul called against Ino Comboy. That's a possible 3 free throws coming up here para kay JJ Caspe. Ino Comboy wants to challenge.
And if you're asking, why foul a three-point shooter? Well, the guy's already got 12 points in the fourth quarter alone para dito kay JJ Caspe. And if you're the guy that's defending that, somebody needs to stop him from scoring some more.
Well, there was a long conversation between Coach Rodi Santos and his staff on whether they would challenge or not. Ultimately, they decided that yes, they were going to challenge, kaya nabigyan ng bola kay JJ Caspe. And so they weren't able to use that. Caspe makes his first free throw. He now has 17 points here in this game. Make that 18. That's 14 points here in the fourth quarter alone, Coach Mike.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, Imus was actually first to penalty in this quarter, and Mindoro's not been able to capitalize on that. Why? Because they couldn't get shots to fall.
3 big, crucial free throws for JJ Caspe to make this an 8-point lead. 24-12 has been the scoring in this fourth quarter. Ino Comboy, in contrasting struggle here to JJ Caspe, siya naman ang nahihirapan dito sa fourth period. Manzo, shot clock is winding down. Manzo, can he create something? Rangel puts up the shot and knocks it down. That's a much-needed basket for the Tamaraos. 81-75, 58.2 seconds remaining.
Boils down to clock management here.
Doligon being pressured by Sedorifa. The double comes from Manzo. De La Cruz gets it across. De La Cruz, bounce pass, Basibas. That's another missed defensive coverage for the Tamaraos, and they have been percolating here in the fourth quarter. The Imus Brotherhood up by 10.
You talk about missed defensive coverage. I say more on the assist of Imus. They've been impressive at sharing that ball, and they are right now poised to get a win here.
85-73. It doesn't look like Mindoro will foul here. They're gonna let Imus dribble out this one. Caspe trying to put the finishing touches on this game. JJ, pocket pass, Ariar. Off the bank, no good, malakas yan. Comboy gets it to Sedorifa. Three-pointer, no, and that could do it. That's it. That's gonna do it. A come from behind victory for the Imus Brotherhood here against the Mindoro Tamaraos. What a fourth quarter by this squad led by former Mindoro All-Star JJ Caspe.
And very impressive debut, might I say, for Imus against a stacked team in the Tamaraos. You know, there were a lot of expectations for Mindoro Tamaraos this season, and this might just be a wake-up call for that team. Samantala itong Imus, they just surprised themselves. Other guys really stepping up, and it's not one person. It's other guys really helping out. Sure, Mark Doligon started out in the first half, but everyone else, JV, Kit Ariar, defensive post presence, getting in the lane, Ong even. I mean, these guys really just stepped up and ended up with Basibas and Caspe finishing it off.
And might I add JB Belenson also to the mix. We
Right.
talked about the depth of the Mindoro Tamaraos, not just in the roster, but also in their coaching staff.
Yeah.
But this Imus Brotherhood team, they rose from the ashes literally in this
Literal.
game. They were down by as much as 13 points, but were able to make a spirited